In this breaking story, Donald Trump got an ego check from one of his favorite communist dictator leaders, and I have the breakdown for you next. The recipe for Trump's first term can be described as something like this: 1/3 golf, 1/3 calling anything that was true and or critical of him fake news, and 1/3 glorifying himself whenever possible. And we can expect more of the same beginning on January 20th. But one of his self-aggrandizing schemes for 2025 was just shattered by Chinese President Xi Jinping. And before I reveal that turn of Trump events, let's have a look at what's at stake with China through this very fascinating and very recent report from CNBC's Squawk Box about China's sensitivities around Trump's tariff move. And they even speculate if Taiwan is at risk because of a Trump presidency.
A thawing of relations between Washington and Beijing. That is the question of the morning. What is going on and what it all portends? What do you think?
In China circles, people are really confused about what Trump's actual China policy is going to be. So on the one hand, he nominates China hawks like Representative Mike Waltz as NSA, right?
And then or Marco Rubio.
Right, or Marco Rubio. And then you look at Marco Rubio. He's sanctioned by China. He's now the pick for Secretary of State. And then you could throw in Elon Musk. He has a sizable business. So it all kind of adds up to a lot of unpredictability. And from what I understand, the Trump administration sees unpredictability in their favor for the negotiations going to your point.
China doesn't particularly care for unpredictability, right?
Well, they don't. Yes, exactly. They don't like unpredictability. But, so they see it as favor. But at the same time, it could be also leading to miscalculation, right, depending on what happens.
Do you think that the Chinese, and I'm curious what the press said, after the election, they were happier that Trump was the president, or they were happier they were pushing for Biden?
There's a lot.
I should say Kamala Harris.
They see that maybe on the trade side that there are going to be tariffs coming in, but in terms of policy, Trump has messaged before that he is willing to negotiate on Taiwan, for example. And that just leads to
Do you think Taiwan's on the table?
Is
that a view inside China that Taiwan is now, that if the Chinese want to take Taiwan, they can?
There's definitely a hardline belief that if Trump is amenable to it, that maybe the Chinese should go in, that Xi Jinping should go for that. At the same time, it would be so disruptive to the economy, to China. And right now, because of the economic situation, China doesn't really need that level of disruption.
That last bit is a fascinating point. I think Xi will be watching closely to see if Trump gifts Ukraine to Putin while calculating his potential move on Taiwan. But that could be years away, and today we're talking about the Trump-Xi bromance that has blossomed to the point where Trump made the unprecedented move of inviting the communist dictator to his inauguration ceremony, and for some reason Xi turned down Trump's offer to glorify Trump by kissing the ring that Elon Musk has been slobbering over. Have a look at this compilation that breaks it down.
Chinese President Xi Jinping reportedly rejected President-elect Donald Trump's invitation to attend his inauguration. Xi was among the global leaders to whom Trump extended an invitation. Xi's appearance would have broken precedent, as no foreign head of state has ever attended an inauguration. There is still an opportunity for world leaders to make history, as Trump's invitation to world leaders from Italy, Hungary, Argentina, and El Salvador remain open. While maintaining a tough economic stance on China, Trump has often touted his friendly personal relationship with Xi.
There are a lot of foreign leaders like Xi Jinping, first among them, who probably don't want to be at the center of a democratic inauguration. It's just sort of not their thing.
Because it's not a situation that he can control. He would risk potentially being humiliated, looking like he's number two, looking as though he's not fallible, or that he's not infallible, that he is fallible, which is something that the Communist Party right now does not like to portray.
And a CNN article added, such a visit would put the Chinese president in the position of paying homage to Trump and American might, which would conflict with his vision for China's assumption of a rightful role as a preeminent global power. At the inaugural ceremony, Xi would be forced to sit and listen to Trump without having any control over what the new president might say, while lacking a right of reply. Xi's presence would also be seen as endorsing a democratic transfer of power. During Trump 2.0, I think we'll see a similar division of the pie that I led with, 1/3 golf, 1/3 denouncing truth, and 1/3 self-glorification. But this time around, he better understands the power that he wields and the opportunities for leverage and media exposure, and he wants to build his legacy. So I think the self-glorification slice will be extra thick. It was a guilty pleasure to see the leader of China not play Trump's game and snub him, and I hope that many Republican and corporate leaders find the courage to do the same over the next 4 years. And in closing, I'll give the United Nations the final word. Watch in this archived and unfiltered video how much Donald Trump is actually respected on the world stage.
It was the day the world, or at least the United Nations, gave a listen to Donald Trump and then laughed. Not with him, at him.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Trump later said he meant it as a laugh line. And Trump slammed internationalism.
We are standing up for America and for the American people.
All of it less surprising than it might have been had he not said such stuff before. And because of that, the speech may well be remembered instead as that day Trump got laughed at in front of them all. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.